What's up, folks? Random Andrew coming back at you again with some more Mini Cooper work. Maybe you'll have clicked the title because you want to know how to do an oil change, but this isn't all that this video is about. There's been a lot of work happening on this car lately. For reference, 2005 first gen electric blue Mini Cooper. It's a good car. It's been a great car. It was a rescue for 500 bucks. If you don't know the history of me and Coop here. And over the years, as I've been driving it, maintaining it, been just keeping it classic. You know, I want to do a W11 swap. I really want to do a K24 swap. Don't tell me you don't hear me. On a good K24 turbo, maybe in that CRV all-wheel drive conversion, transfer case, rear end. That could be a mean little car, but for now it's a great little car. So we're going to go over some of the things that have been done, but first I thought I'd mention, look at this. Now there's a car show video that I did where I was gonna make you guys guess, but apparently I lost that footage in the beginning, so be prepared for a car show video coming up with no intro. I'll work with what I got, and that's what I ended up with. So about Cooper, there's been some things done. Now first off, it goes without saying, 18-inch rims on low pros. Huge shout out to my buddy Jay, who's been actually missing in action for over a month now. Jay, if you're seeing this, get a hold of me, dude. What happened? The worst spot on this whole car. I'm really trying to source a cutout from another Cooper. Hard to find. There was one on eBay and it went missing. But we'll get that done, and then we'll just repaint this whole panel here to match. And never even know. Take care of those few little spots. Bottom of the door. This car will be like a brand new car all over again. Underneath, I can tell you this chassis is clean because of all the work we just did to it lately. I got under there and I got to see, and there's a couple little rough spots underneath the subframe mounts, kind of right under your butts in the driver and passenger seat. So the work we did, you might not even be able to see it from up here. What was I thinking? Brand new control arms and control arm mounts and bushings underneath there. And a lot of work cleaned up underneath. Again, before fall, I'd like to drop the whole subframe again. And then redo, like drag the whole subframe out, wire brush it, repaint it. It's got some orange to it, and maybe even put a new steering rack. If you know, or if you don't, this car has the power steering delete. That's right. No more electric power steering, no more electric faults from the electric power steering, and no more having to pay $400 for a new electric power steering pump. That's the single benefit right there. But when you want to talk a driver's benefit, chances are you're not driving one of these unless you're a driver. Okay, like straight lines are for fast cars, curvy roads are for fast drivers, and that's where this excels. Just needs a little more get up and go off the hop. CVT transmission recently. Oh, guys, get this. Now, I know my Mini Cooper followers might understand this, but the CVT transmission was a tricky one to figure out because there are a few models. Don't worry about background noise. I got a neighbor doing some work. I'm curious, but I have no idea what he's doing. So, I was always unsure of how to properly check the fluid levels in the CVT transmission. There's a hole on top for filling. There's a plug in the bottom. Well, there's a plug in the top. And there's a plug in the bottom for draining. And there's also a third. It's called an inspection hole. And if you pull that plug and fluid comes out, then you've got too much fluid and you have to let it run out to a dribble, plug it, and you're good to go at proper levels. Now, I pulled the plug and this is how much came out. There you go. That's 1.5 liter container and that's about 3/4 full. That's how much fluid was in there. Excess fluid. That's not good. Here's the control arms that come out from under the car. Wise idea if you've got a 20-year-old car to keep an eye on stuff like this. You got to remember this goes out to your hub, right? And that's holding your wheel. This is underneath the car, kind of right under your left foot if you're a driver, right foot if you're a passenger. And this is to the subframe right here, this inner ball joint. So a lot of the weight of the vehicle is leveraged right here. And there's these spots that just rot out right around it. Come on. If I designed this part, it would have been beefier, but then again, if I designed this part, I'd put this in a jig at that exact angle so it can't move. Even if you got like a magnitude 8 earthquake, it'll be locked in. Same with this mounting point, cut, 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 and do all tubular steel construction, but more beneficial than what it already gives you. Like, these are not bad shaped control arms. Condition ways, they're crap. But I mean the general shape of them, the geometry to them. Okay. So other than the control arms, bushings, mounts, 18s, you all know I've done the brakes last year. We've done the struts all the way around, like for full strut spring assembly. And today we're doing an oil change because Coop really deserves it. What you're going to need: you'll need your oil filter wrench. Can't use it directly on the filter because it's a filter housing. It's a different style with Cooper. You need some sort of oil pan. It's only 1.6 liter engine, so you won't need a big one. And you need your oil and your filter itself. Today we're rolling with some 5W30, some Pennzoil, and a Fram filter. Right there, that's like, I think, maybe $40 combined. Canadian, that is Canadian. You also need a ratchet set or a wrench of the proper size for your oil plug. In this case, I think we're dealing with a 14. And a good little radio, because music makes everything better. You guys, unfortunately, copyright, you don't get to hear the music. I want to say also, a haircut, when not kept under hat all day, it's not a bad haircut. I like it. I think I like in the hair, short hair. Huge shout out, Malachi at Saint T. S-A-I-N-T, and then capital T. One of their brands, their merch, rocking the merch today. St. Thomas, St. T. It's a clothing line. Good shop to go get your hair cut. I don't trust anybody else to cut my hair short, although I'm getting older. Look at that. It used to fill out more in the front. Anyhow, on with the Cooper. But again, huge shout out. Thanks, Malachi, St. T. Barbershop. Best in town. Well, hopefully you guys can see, because I can barely see. Should have pulled this whole front bumper cover off. So it's generally a good idea to wipe the oil plug area with any excess dirt and crap out of the way. Yeah, let's make sure we're turning this the right way. Sometimes it can be a little slow. Okay, so I've actually lifted the car up a little bit so I can get the heck underneath here. Maybe have some room to work. Like I said, or if I didn't, sometimes the mount plugs can be a little sticky. But you'd rather have them be like that than be easily come loose, lose it while you're going down the road. Yeah, so you want to make sure that thing's snug when it goes back on, or that whoever does it makes sure it's snug. In this case, it is me. Ready? Not a drop on me. That's some dark oil, folks. Always put this guy somewhere you'll be able to find him. Doesn't hurt to remove your oil cap either. Be curious on playback if that actually showed a difference in flow. And I'm gonna let that drip for a few minutes. You have to keep an eye on that for me. Looks like we're about done dripping down there. Hopefully that's saved. There we go, right there, center screen. There's your oil filter. No filter wrench on it. Take it off there. Be careful if your pipes are hot. You get a little toasty in there. Probably should have gloves on for this, but I've already gone and loosened it. I'm just gonna keep turning it till I know those threads are off. So pull it out. Oh, burning myself too bad. Now it is an aluminum casing. This guy's hot, so let's set it down. Alright, let us have a look at this. There you go, see? Heat, rag, better. Now let's take a look at this. You guys see anything that glitters? Because in this case, glitter is not gold. Glitter is vital engine material. Looks good, looks good. I don't see anything crazy absurd. I don't think you guys can see in there, but it's the whole shot. That's some black oil right there. Texas tea. Look at that nice black reflection of the Cooper though. Something so black can reflect so colorful. Anyway, that's when ADD kicks in. We'll drain this into there. You can kind of look around in the bottom of this. I don't see any metal particulate or flakes of any kind. This is a 289,000 kilometers on this Canadian Cooper. It's doing great. Knock on hood. Knock on hood. Anyway, superstitions. Now, I didn't expect that to be so full. That's gonna be fun. I've got a funnel somewhere and I've got an empty jug. But next step, that it's all drained out, make sure that oil plug's clean. I'll stick that back in as a first step. Never forget this because you'll waste a lot of money if you forget this. Now I'm certain there's almost got to be a recommended foot-pounds of torque for that oil plug, but you know, I've had, real quick recap, 84 Celica Supra, even if only for a couple weeks, I still gave an oil change, all that stuff, and drove it with dealer plates for those couple weeks, and then made a trip out west and sold it for money before I went. Should have kept it. Should have kept it. So then I think after that was the 89 Chevy Beretta with 2.8 liter. That was a solid car, but strut tower rotted out, sold it to a girl. Actually, I was living in London, sold it to a girl from St. Thomas, who I heard drove it for a lot longer. Sold that. I got my 1990 240SX coupe. It was the coupe, the S13. It was a nice one, 2.4 liter single overhead cam, fun car. And then after that, I had a minivan. We're not going to talk about that. And then was the 93 Eagle Talent. I did all my oil changes and I never used any torque specific ratings. I never used any torque specific ratings for that oil plug, and I never had an oil plug come out. So just say tighten the shit out of it, just don't strip it. Alright, so once you've got this housing all cleaned out, wiped out, you got this guy, it's only going to go in here and fit properly one way. Look at the size of this, look at the size of that. Actually, you know what? I thought it was going to go the other way. Oh well, there we go. So now I'm going to take a little fresh oil, get that ring nice and lubed up, and then we'll put this back on and we can start filling her. Okay, the filter is on, the housing is attached, and I really should buy, if you look right here where I'm pointing, yeah, right there, put your head down in there. That is for a socket of a specific size. I gotta get that socket because it'll make my life a lot easier than using that guy. That's old school, I guess, now. So now, add 4.5 liters, put the cap on, and drive with a big Mini Cooper smile. Yeah, it doesn't look the same with the hood up, does it? Now, honestly, I don't need the funnel. What, you guys don't believe me? Fine. Fine. Prove y'all wrong. I don't need no stinking funnel. Oh, thanks guys. Well, at least I know how the oil got on the outside of the motor. You know, it's not one of those mystery leaks. I tried. Oh, I know something else I forgot to tell you guys I did. I replaced the PVC positive crankcase ventilation valve. The old one was rattly. I'm not sure it did anything. Hell, I'm not even sure the new one really does anything. But it's on there. So this is a 5-liter quart, or a 5-liter jug. I got 1.5 liters remaining. I just keep going, and then I check the side when it says I'm at 0.5 left. My job is done. 1 liter to go. There you go. Quarter oil to spare. It's not tight until it clicks. Alright, at risk of my phone dropping, the last step, making sure it still starts. And there you have it, one complete oil change on the Mini Cooper. This could drive for a couple more years like that because, well, I don't drive thousands of kilometers in a year. The only thing I don't know how to do is reset the dash so it knows it's had an oil change. No worries. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Don't forget to share this in all the Mini Cooper groups. I'm thinking about changing my channel name to the Poor Man Cooper's channel or something like that. Oh, my neighbor Margaret. Say hi, Margaret.